Hi, my name is Alan Rehbein. Hello world, my name is Alan. I want to share this story with all of you in hopes for change. My story is around judicial fraud and, like so many others, being caught in the web of corruption. I had a family of 6 that was destroyed by family services when truth was twisted into accusations that became their truth. So then I am charged with domestic assault on on Amber, my 16-year-old daughter. Social services then able to open up Chip's case that now leaves my family devastated, emotionally and physically sick. The system known as our judiciary invaded our lives, took them over with their so-called help: social workers, guardian ad litems, counselors, in-home therapists, psychologists, countless test classes, mental health workers, prosecutors, judges, and lawyers. Evil. All these people made money off of so-called help that were not needed, necessary, or helpful. Not asked for, only ordered. Do you see the invasion? All this while trying to raise my children. But yet we find ourselves forced by the wills of these that carry out these cruel and unjust abusive ways of this judiciary system, known as our judiciary, that feeds on families for selfish gain. But yet, how could we be fooled to believe they could be trusted? Why? Only because we have been told it's the best system in the world. But how could we believe, with all the abuse and injustice in our judiciary? When an order of protection was placed on me, I was told by Judge Richard C. Perkins, if I even took a look at my children, I will be in jail. And he, knowing I was staying at my mom's and lived across the street from the school. Well, the next morning, Megan came knocking, crying and screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, I love you," only to see her dragged off by school aide or principal. Looks more like police than aides and principals. Well, 6 months later, back to court, ordered not lifted, but was granted to go to Katie and Megan's dance recital the next day. Well, this did not go over well. Mindy is hospitalized and unable to take them, but she makes arrangements with Charles, our oldest, who was about 16, did not show up to take them. So Katie and Megan called me wanting a ride. I said, yes, I will. This does not go well. When Charles arrives, I question him as to why he was not here to take the girls to their dance. He replied, made plans, and then he went to his room. A short time later, I went to his room to tell him I was not happy, and I put my hands on his shoulders. As I said, your disrespect sucks. Then at that moment, he struck me upside my head. I, now in a bit of a shock and in a hurry to get the girls to dance, but feeling more needs to be done, I bumped him upside his head in hope it would let him know that this is unacceptable. This did not go well when he then went into rage and started punching and pushing me around. Yes, he was out of control, and with me doing my best, I put him in a headlock to keep myself safe. Charles did have bruising from the headlock due to his rage, but at no time did I intend to harm him. Now with this said, we got to the dance, and later that night I was arrested. Well, this turned into more truth-twisting and accusations and assumptions, with social services, guardian ad litems, and prosecutors, and the judge believing their made-up story and charged me with first-degree burglary and assault on a person and building. While I could not believe this, scary thinking 15 years for this, and thinking none of this would be happening if not for our corrupt judiciary. Well, Bill Cowell, public defender, who is nothing more than the prosecution's inside man, told me to take their offer: 15-year stay, 45 days jail, 20 hours STS, that I was forced to do 20 days STS, not hours, and 16 weeks anger management. Then I was able to go back home. What changed? The money or the emotional and physical stress on the family that satisfied them? Well, being home, I see more trouble. Well, as I see it, with Mindy working and no one home with the children, now they have developed habits of running late nights and drugs and alcohol. I ask, where is the accountability for this? Well, due to many children in one-parent homes, with many of them parents staying up late nights at the bar, as some are selling drugs, leaving these accessible to their children as well as mine. Well, what I wanted was for my children to not partake in these activities. Well, this was the beginning of more trouble when Amber and Katie chose to leave home and avoid rules, thinking they went to a friend's and would come home, but didn't. I thinking they went to school, being I didn't get a call from school until 2 days after they were missing, and after they had called me, they called the police. Well, the girls were found and taken to juvenile holding JFC or JAF for months until they could be placed in foster care. Why? Because an incompetent judge who can decide that they left because they were afraid of me. But after a month, the foster care didn't want Megan or Amber, so Katie and Amber were separated, and Amber is sent to safe house. But this judge decides Megan, my youngest, is safe to stay with me. This should be an eye-opener. As I see it, it is more criminal to take my children and separate all of us against our wills. We were all feeling traumatized from the emotional and physical pain and suffering. Time goes by and Megan needs to get on track. Her room is a mess and needs cleaning, so I told her that when she wants to go to a friend's, her room needs to be cleaned first. Well, this does not go over well as she leaves to her friend's home early in the morning. So I called her friend's dad to tell him to send her home. She arrives not happy, but started to clean, but only for a little while. So I told her needs to be better. She was outraged with me, so she left and called foster care to talk to Katie. Well, this became more trouble as she was upset and crying. The foster parent called social services or the police, and Megan was picked up and questioned. Wow, not legal. She is only 12 years old and needs consent by a parent. The police brings her home in the back seat of car with his canine, then leaves her locked in the back seat while the officer, Jeremy Templin, is harassing me, while Megan is being assaulted by the canine, showing his teeth and growling and barking viciously in her face, while she is screaming, "Let me out!" I am tired of all this harassment, told him he is a thief, stealing tax dollars, then told him to leave. This sent him into a rage, and then he assaults me. There are witnesses, my sister Sandra and son Charles. My sister was in fear for her life and safety as well as mine. Well, where is the accountability? The assault on me, but I am charged with disorderly, resisting arrest with force, obstructing police procedure. But to the in her face, where are the charges? But to top it off, no charges were made. This vicious assault by the canine, showing his teeth and growling and barking in her face. Where are the charges for child endangerment and assault on a minor? Again, where is the accountability for these injustices? Not with a trial. It is not working. So what is needed to deal with these narcissistic people? 1, we need to remove them. 2, we need to abolish their practices today. Why? Because it's the right thing to do.